Things change. Things are never going to be the way you want them to be. Things change. No matter if you want them to or not, things change. And what always change is this cycle of things. The biggest challenge we all face is change. And it's the biggest challenge because change requires you to adapt or die. That's why it's the biggest challenge we all face. The world throws you changes so you can grow. And I don't know why I found that a little funny, but the word growth or grow, it's something that again has been lost in time because in order for anything to be lost in time, it has to build a foundation based on a circular time system. That means it has to continually go through that cycle and it has to repeat itself over and over and over again because it doesn't require any other changes. That's as far as you go. So in a sense, a circle is a finite point because it can only go from A to B. At any given time, it can only go from A to B because it follows a circular function. And that function is a line that can only move in one direction until it meets the beginning. So it's like a snake. That's why it's circular. That's what time is. Time is circular. That's why the clock goes around, blah, blah, blah. And then they try to change it, but it's still going around because it still has to time itself. You still need that information to be displayed in the LED screen. It still needs to go around a certain motion in order to prove itself. Because that's essentially what it's doing. It's proving its existence. But anyways, back to change. Things are never going to be the way you want them to be. It's as simple as it is. That's what change is. The world throws you change so you can grow. Please grow. Stop. But but can you handle the stress with the change? Can you handle the stress with the change? Can you live with the change? Is the change good or bad? That's up to the individual. It's very biased because it all depends on the person's experience, right? So what one person considers to be good, another person might be considered to be bad. So it's one of those things where it's kind of left to debate. But there's moral stuff where we all understand that there's something morally that we can only do because, you're not gonna do some harsh shit and expect it to be okay. And then it's like, we gotta accept that as good. And that's the problem that we have come into the world now. Everybody has been so open-minded with change that we forgot our moral standards. where we come from, like the foundation of it. Like the foundation is gone. And since the foundation is gone, that means it's just open season for any change. Because once the foundation is gone, that means essentially what you end up having is old rules and new rules. And new understandings of how to live. Just remember this, please, okay? Because just because the change is bad, right, for you, doesn't mean it's not good for everybody else. Maybe you're the problem. Maybe you're the one that needs to change. Maybe you need to look in the mirror and process, why is the majority going against you? Why is those you love or loved are fighting you now, and now you're public enemy number one, right? So maybe just because your change in your mind is good doesn't mean it's good for others. And that's something that you have to come to peace, that if you want to participate in the human experience, you have to understand that there's certain things that are not okay and do not require change. Should I say, hold on, it's not that it doesn't require change, that the change that you offer doesn't do us good, right? We all need to change in order to see life at its full potential. We all need to change in order to see life at its full potential. It might scare the crap out of you, but take a shot. You can only fail by trying, or you can thrive. Which game are you willing to play?